Hello guys, what's going on? This is Negacious, and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. In the last episode, um, we lots of stuff happened. We got our first art class done, and we went back to class, had some shenanigans with Shizune and Misha, or Mishune, as I like to call them. After that, we kind of got bored in class and started sketching on the notepad or the notebook we have, and we drew a bird. And then we got some feedback from Mishune, and went out. We talked with Rin, and Rin was wondering, why do I look so grim all the time? And we're wondering, hey, I don't look grim. And we talked with Emmy, and then Rin's thoughts popped back into our mind, thinking, are we really that grim? And this is where we left off. So let's get going. That night, when I'm doubly certain that Kenji won't be barging into the bathroom, I look in the mirror and smile at my reflection. The me in the mirror smiling at the me in the bathroom, looks awfully fake. Fake? Huh. Oh, come on! Oh, God dang it. Of course it would have ended there. Having exhausted the books Kenji lent me just a few nights, I go back to the library, deeming it a safer alternative for getting my reading fix. I return the books he had stolen while I'm at it, to Yuko's delight. I don't tell her where I got them, though. Wow, you sure read a lot, don't you? Yeah, I guess I do. I swear every time I enter a new route, Yuko's voice changes. I mean, I do. Even I think it's weird. I think I might have a reading problem. Maybe I'm a junkie. No, I didn't mean it that way. It's not weird at all, and being addicted to reading is a lot better than being addicted to something else. Yeah, I know. It was a joke. I smile at her reassuringly and drop the books on the counter so Yuko can check them out. I feel tired, so I sit down in a vacant chair in front of her desk. While Yuko goes through the modest pile of reading material I found, I let my gaze wander around the library. At the tables, a pair of girls is chattering in hushed tones rather than working on their homework. The short-haired one notices me looking in their direction and waves at me. When I raise my hand back, they glance at each other and giggle in unison. I'm not sure how I should feel about that, so I decide it's a good thing. The one who waved at me has a horrible case of epilepsy. Epilepsy? Huh. Well, I mean... never mind. I saw her having an attack a few days ago. It was one of the most disturbing and scary things I've seen in a very long time. Yet, there she is, happily chirping away about whatever, as if she doesn't have a care in the world. You know, this school is really something else. Yuko raises her eyes from the books she was going through, slightly startled. She adjusts her glasses and puts on a nervous, confused smile. What do you mean? I don't really know how to explain it. It's just that everyone's so active, or how should I put it? It's not just a festival thing. I think, even though I haven't been here that long, but it's everything. People talk more, work harder, and just are more than in any other school I've seen before. I'm struggling for words, but it feels like I'm speaking honestly. This school feels so alive. A choice, really? What did Hisao say about... throughout all the routes, Hisao has had trouble getting used to, Yamaku. But I'm getting the vibe that Hisao is actually feeling refreshed by Yamaku's spirit and everyone just moving around and about. So I'm gonna say that it's refreshing. Also, I'm gonna save here because of a comment I got on the last episode, in last episode, which was like that. Apparently, Rin's route will have like a multi-choice later on, which has like 6 different choices in total or something, and I can't wait to get to that, to get through all of those. But if I go through all of those, but that's for that. Now let's just pick that it's refreshing. Sure, there were some people like this in my old school too, but not as many, and it feels more intense somehow. I think if I had to pin it down to one thing, that the students here really appreciate going to school. That makes sense, I guess. I don't think that's a bad thing. Yeah, me neither. Suddenly I realized that I've just been babbling my thoughts to Yuko out of the blue. She's a bit of a jumpy person, so I fear I might have made a bad impression. She's looking at me with what I hope is curiosity rather than horror, so I figure she's alright. Sorry for suddenly talking about weird stuff like this. I didn't mean to trouble you. Oh no, it's not troubling. I'm happy to listen if you feel like talking. It makes me feel a little reliable too. Yuko smiles sweetly and a little bit ironically at that. I respond with a thankful smile of my own. As she pushes the neat stack of books across the counter, I stand up and gather them in my arms. Here you are. Thank you. I guess we'll be meeting each other again. Please come here anytime. Yuko's kindness is heartwarming. You can count on it. See you later. Ah, that's right. I forgot to mention it in the episode recap, but we also promised Emi to go to the track meet. Which we already know what's gonna happen from Emi's route, way back in the day. The morning of the track meet greets me with a brilliant sunshine from a crystal blue sky. While I leisurely stroll towards the track, I decide this is a good sign. Of what? I'm not sure. This event isn't as exciting for me as it seems to be for a large portion of the student body. I'm even less interested in watching sports than I am in participating, but cheering for Emi is a good cause. I'm not expecting this to be any sort of amazing and spectacular experience, but it can't hurt. I'd probably be spending the time reading while cooped up in my room otherwise. Rin. When I approach the bleachers, I spot Rin emerging from the crowd right before she spots me. You came? Of course, I said I would, didn't I? That doesn't necessarily imply that you had to follow through. Lots of people say things and don't mean them. Well, I don't. Rin shrugs. Seemingly bored with our conversation, she turns on her heel and heads back towards the stands. So, are you excited about this? Not really. Me neither. Then why did you come? Why did you? She doesn't reply at all, so I decide not to either. We enter the bleachers, and Rin nods upwards. Up there! Rin leads the way, and soon we've settled down on an almost empty bench. Ah, yeah, there's Mrs. Ibarazaki. What was her first name again? Meiko? Meiko, I think. There's an older woman sitting next to Rin, someone's mother, I assume. She's got rather long hair done up in a braid. On seeing Rin, she gives an oddly familiar-seeming grin. Well, this is surprising. I thought you went to get a snack, not a boy. Huh? This is no good. I completely butchered that. This is no good. The woman laughs at Rin and shakes her head, apparently unable to find a comeback for that. I know the feeling. Well, I suppose you've always been the one to go out for one thing and bring back another. But I am being rude. I haven't introduced myself. I'm Meiko Ibarazaki. I'm sure if you know this girl, you've at least met my daughter too. Pleased to meet you. Well, that explains it. She's like a taller, older, more motherly Emi. Apart from her hair being somewhat darker than her daughter's, there's really no mistaking the resemblance. Sorry, I'm Hisao. Hisao Nakai. Nice to meet you. I'm Rin Teska. Mrs. Ibarazaki laughs again. She really does resemble her offspring, and then leans back a little on her seat and raises an eyebrow. What? So, now that we all know each other, how long have you and Rin been dating? My response consists of silence as my brain suddenly lurches into gear, but just before I can begin to utter a hastily babbled explanation, Emi's mother bursts into laughter again. Haha, you're a blusher, aren't you? I don't know if there's any way to keep my dignity in this situation, so I settled for a mumbled response. We're not. I know, and it's funny to watch you squirm. I'm sorry, forgive an old woman her amusements. She chuckles again to herself. Old woman? She sure doesn't look that old to me. I suppose I can let it go. How kind of you. It's starting. Ah yeah, this is the same picture as on Emi's route. I direct my attention to the track, where they're preparing for the first sprint. It looks like the 400-meter dash. My eyes scan the runners before finding Emi. She's smiling, with an almost cocky look on her face. The starter raises his pistol. Emi explodes off the block, disappearing from the starting line in a blur. It's amazing. Even as the other sprinters converge on the lanes closest to the inside line, Emi surges to the front of the pack. By the time she rounds the final turn, a few of the other runners have caught up with her. But she puts on a final burst of speed that leaves them at least half a second behind. Mrs. Ibarazaki whoops and shouts, applauding wildly, and generally looking like any other parent cheering on their child. Also, I just noticed Miki's there, like left from Emi. Miki Miyoda, I think, is her full name. Emi bounds off the track, looking pleased with herself. I cheer right along with the rest of them. The announcer, sounding suspiciously like Misha, gleefully gives the results. I think she's gotten faster since the last time. That was incredible. Mrs. Ibarazaki grins proudly. Actually, I think this might be old dialogue. Never mind. Emi's a heck of a runner. We fall silent as the next event prepares to start. I'm surprised to see Emi striding out onto the track again. Wait, didn't she just run? Emi's mother nods. Yes, but she runs multiple events for the team, especially the sprints. It's a lot of running, but Emi can handle it. From the looks of things, she's right. Emi doesn't appear to be tired, as if she hadn't run the previous event at all. If not for the sweat visible on her shirt, you'd never know. Which event is this? It's the 200-meter dash. She'll do this one, the 100-meter, and the relay. I see. Once again the pistol sounds, and once again Emmy flies off the block. A thumping sound draws my attention away from the race. It's Rin's foot. She seems completely absorbed in the race. Emmy's mother cheers again, and I assume that the race is over. Sprints don't seem to me like they take very long to complete. Well, isn't that the entire point of a sprint? Your foot. Huh? Wait. Huh? Your foot was bouncing on the bleachers. Oh. You seem pretty into this stuff. I'm surprised. I thought you said this wouldn't be exciting. I suppose you're right. It's not that interesting. But I'm watching Emmy, not the sport. I don't follow. Emmy's the most Emmy when she runs. You don't get to see Emmy at her Emmyest very often. But here, you can. See? She directs my attention towards the track again, where the 100-meter dash is about to start. I watch Emmy closely. I swear I've read this dialogue before. As she gets onto the starter blocks, her whole body seems to relax, but it's a false relaxation. I can see that she's actually like a coiled spring. As the starter tells everyone to get set, her head snaps up, and her eyes narrow slightly. Her mouth curls upward in what could be a grin, or could be a growl. Why isn't this old dialogue? What the hell? When the pistol goes off, it's as if she's been unleashed from a cage, like she was always moving at this blinding speed, but we couldn't see it happening until the starter's pistol dispelled the illusion of motionlessness. As soon as she crossed the finish line, the fierce look was replaced by her normal grin. The conquering general returns to his farm. Amazing. She's really amazing. I've never seen someone move that fast. Well, don't look at me. I'm far too relaxed to run that fast. No, I think Emmy's prowess all came from her father's side. At the mention of Emmy's father, Mrs. Ibarazaki looks wistful, almost sad. He got her into running, you know. Yeah, and we know the story behind that because we got the good end on Emmy's route. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I leave it at that and don't say anything for a little while. I get the feeling this is something personal I shouldn't ask about. A beeping noise suddenly emanates from Mrs. Ibarazaki's pocket. Reaching into it, she pulls out a cell phone and looks at it. Honestly, text messages. What is he, 16? Nothing. I've got to meet up with a friend of mine. Will you tell Emmy I'm very proud of her and I'll call her later tonight? Of course. While waiting for the relay to start, I peer at Rin. She seems uninterested in her surroundings, myself included. That remark she made before is still stuck in my head. Emmy's the most Emmy when she runs. It does make sense, now that I think about it. After seeing her run now, I can believe that Emmy gives her all on the track. Sports are more than a hobby, or even a competition to her. They're a defining aspect of her life. What about Rin, then? Does she feel the same way about art? Considering the persistence she displayed here before the festival, I could easily believe it. Did I see Rin at her most Rin when she was painting the mural? The relay is about to begin, but I don't see Emmy anywhere. I thought Emmy ran the relay. She runs anchor. So she won't be running for a while yet. Ah. Did you see it? Huh? Emmy at her Emmyest? Maybe. Maybe this time. the race begins, and I cheer Emi's teammates along as they pass the baton. Finally, I see Emi sprinting onto the track to take the final handoff. Well, once again, I'm taken aback by how graceful she looks when she runs. It really is beautiful. The look of determination, fearlessness on her face only adds to the picture. Emi at her Emiest, I suppose. Emi flies across the finishing line with a great leap, just barely ahead of the next runners, but still in first. Well, let's go down. Gotta crown the victor. See if you can find a laurel branch. That's not going to be easy. A laurel branch? Did she ask me to search for a laurel branch again? Like, I can't remember. Erin shrugs. At least we tried. At least we tried. Emi is surrounded by her teammates, all of them congratulating her on the run. Rin seems to be waiting for Emi to notice that she's arrived. It doesn't seem her style to draw attention to herself, or to emote beyond shrugging. Well, how would you? Being more impatient than Rin, I wave to Emi in her stead. She looks up and grins happily at us. Hey, you showed up! We would have brought you a crown of laurels, but Hisao didn't find one. Neither did you. It wasn't my job to look. When did we assign jobs? When I said, see if you can find a laurel branch. Try to keep up. I shrug. I guess Rin's rubbing off on me. Seems it's my fault after all, Emi. Emi laughs at Rin and me. It's okay. I'm sure you'll make it up to me somehow. Somehow? Sure. Good. So, how'd I look? Very impressive. Emi seems pleased with this assessment. I don't mention how much more impressive her performance is given the lack of legs. I figure she knows that already. Besides, it seems like it would take away from her efforts somehow. Great to hear. I was worried that I would look a little slow on the relay, but I guess I did fine, huh? Emi giggles and then seems to remember something. Oh, before I forget. Dean and I are going to do something next Sunday as post-track meet celebration. You should come along. Normally we do it the day after, but since today's Sunday, I've got homework and class and all that stuff to take care of. Oh, sure, I'd love to. Great, it's a promise then. Oh, right, your mom wanted to say she's proud of you. She'll call you later tonight. I thought I saw her in the stands. I'm glad she made it. Hey, Emi, you're going to miss the medal ceremony. Oh yeah, thanks. She turns to Rin and myself. You don't have to stick around for this part. It takes forever. Besides, you should get cracking on your homework now if you don't want to be up late, Hisao. Jesus. Since when was Emi's voice that hard to do? It's either that Emi's voice was really hard to do, or that it's because I'm doing more of a Rin's voice, and it's kind of rubbing off onto the kind of clear and like cheery voice of Emi's, which makes it hard. Emi skips back to her teammates, leaving me and Rin by ourselves. Neither of us has the slightest interest in the post-competition ceremonies, so we silently get away and get back to the quad. Rin yawns without even trying to restrain herself and shuffles her feet around restlessly. I feel awkward, but less so than if I was with someone else. Still, I'm left hanging, not knowing what I should say next. Emi was great, wasn't she? She was great. I'm very jealous of her. Why? Like I said, Don't you think it's great to be able to really be yourself? It sounds weird coming from Rin. I don't think you, of all people, should have trouble finding a way to express yourself. Don't you have your paintings? She turns to look at me. For the first time, I see in her eyes this strange, hollow expression that I think must be unique to her. No, you see, the problem is that I'm not really sure who I am. Okay. Does she have like schizophrenia? Or like a light form of it? Or something? I think that's actually where we are going to drop off this episode of Katawa Shoujo, guys. Thank you for watching. So that was kind of a recap, actually, but I think it was a good recap, because it gives a nice premise to that little remark that Rin made at the very end, that she doesn't know who she is, because it kind of gives the reflection towards Emi, who kind of works as a nice projection towards Rin's character as herself as well, if you get what I mean. That was kind of a messy explanation. Regardless, if you want, you can drop a comment down below. Any like casual banter, constructive criticism, anything's welcome. Except spam. Don't spam. And if you liked the episode, you can always click the like button. I appreciate your appreciation and honesty, guys. If you do, if you would, and if you do. Also, you may subscribe and click the bell button next to the subscribe button to make doubly sure that you get my videos into your sub box the moment they come online. My name is Negacious, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!